Welcome to The Naked Truth. And now, your host, Bridget Barclay.
Hello, good morning, UK, and a very hello to you in America. I haven't been on for a while. There's a lot of personal things going on, and I will divulge that very shortly. I'm not obliged to say anything more at the moment, but it's a very, very exciting. It will go viral, and it's quite unbelievable, right? So stay tuned into my Facebook and my YouTube page, which I'll put on the link, but I will let you guys know, my little friends list know anyway. Right, today's guest is absolutely gorgeous, right? So he had been on another very good ladies on my network, Jamie's, and they had the most amazing talk, but I resonated so much with him and we connected. So I would like to I'm going to tell you a little bit of Andrew Lethbridge, right? Andrew Lethbridge is a multidimensional energy healer and Reiki master and YouTube creator. 25 years in the fashion industry, but he'll go into all of that with the biggest brands in the high street in Europe. Also launched his own several brands, but he had a life-changing moment in a park in London only a couple of years ago in 2022. Andrew had a really big spiritual awakening, and as we know, awakenings can happen at any time, and you can have many of them. But to have it only a few years ago and bang, just an episode of continuousness must, for your body and for your mind and for your soul is quite something. So he's actually doing really well, right? He's felt universal love with his father that has passed away. So there was a very good connection with that, and which it all totally tallies in, which he'll go back to in a minute. Psychic abilities opened up through this awakening, which we know that it does with the healings on the hands, and you could see energies. He's had ET experiences over the last 3 years as well. So, for someone to have an awakening, so let's say only a few years ago, and it all to happen in one shebango, I just don't know how anyone can take that. I've had lifetime of experiences. It just gets me through it. But listen, let's get Andrew in. Where is my friend? Where is he? There he is.
Hey B, how you doing?
I'm doing fine, my lovely. All chilled and cosmic.
You're looking gorgeous tonight.
Oh, thank you. I'm
loving the new hair.
Thank you. I'm your sleeping beauty, as you say. I feel like a sleeping beauty. Well, we'll go into that in a minute. So for all of my friends on Facebook and my YouTube friends, please tell us about yourself from past to present, please, Andrew.
So I would say my life before my awakening was pretty normal. I was really in the matrix. I was in fashion for 25 years. I dealt with the biggest high street brands in Europe and UK, and launched some brands myself, which was stocked in John Lewis and Phoenix and ASOS, and had an amazing career in fashion. And even though it looked from the outside, I had the most amazing lifestyle. I went on the best holidays, and from the outside, it looked really good. But inside, I was dying, and my soul was dying. And one day it was March the 2nd in 2022, I'd been up the whole night worrying about work. I hadn't slept, and I went to the park in the morning, and I was like, I hate my life. I hate my customers, I hate blah, blah, blah. And then basically something in my mind said, go and sit on a tree that had fallen down in the park. So I went on the tree, and then basically my soul erupted and started to speak to me. And the love that I felt was just unbelievable. It was like the love of God. I'm not religious, by the way, so I just want to get that in there. But it was just like, it washed over me. It was like euphoria, it was nirvana. And basically my soul started saying to me, I love you. I've always loved you. I will be here for you. I will always catch you. So basically this rushed up my body, and then my third eye exploded. And then basically my dad and my cat who had passed were standing in front of me, and they were just smiling. And they were like physical form going into a vibration to physical form. It was like totally trippy, B. And then behind them was like a waterfall of light, which is like source God. And it was like swirling round in like colors that I've never ever seen before. It was the best moment of my life. I was like hysterically crying. It was just unbelievable. I felt at one with everything in the universe. And then I started to get source started to download reincarnation into me. So it showed me that basically a spark of source had dropped into my mum's stomach. I was born, and that spark is within me. It's within you. It's within all of us. And when we die, that spark then goes back to source God light, and we stay there for a while and have our life review, and then reincarnate back to galaxy or planet or human, whatever that will mean. So that just totally changed my life in that moment.
So walking away from that experience, going back to wherever you were going, whether it be home or into the office or the phone call, you know, how did you deal with that?
So I got up from the tree and I was like hysterically crying, but it was the most joy that I've ever experienced in my whole life. And if anyone had seen me in the park, they would have thought something really bad had happened. But I was just
You've been out all night and lost it.
Or someone had died or something. It was like so dramatic. I was like literally crying till I got home. It just literally, and it just opened me up, and I just felt the happiest that I've ever felt. And then suddenly from that, I started to get psychic visions, and I just felt amazing. Like it just removed all that sadness in my body from my whole life, that the things I'd gone through, and I just felt so happy. And then after a few days, I started to see energy. I started to feel energy in my hands. So I started to FaceTime my friends and say, "Close your eyes," and I put my hands up in front of the camera, and they'd be like, they'd be like, "Oh my God, what are you doing to me?" Because obviously it's really hard to explain. So I realized I could control energy and people's energy field. So from that moment, I was like, I just do. This is obviously a gift I've been given from God, and I need to like persevere with this. So kind of the fashion dropped away, and I carried on. So I became a Reiki master. But within that first few months, I started to get memories unlocked in my brain of when I was a child and get taken from my bed. So it just started to like this memory started just I'd totally forgotten about it since I was a child. And basically I got out of bed and walked along the landing, and then something around 7.5 feet tall grabbed me, and I remember grabbing its arm, and it was really hairy, and then I just passed out. And then the next day I ended up in bed without no memory of what's gone on. So that memory kept playing in my mind after my awakening. It sort of started to unlock memories from the past.
So with you doing your Reiki course, did that obviously energetically that's going to expand you even more? So did you do at what stage did you do the Reiki course? So you had your hands for healing first, and you were doing the exercises with your friends, and then you went on a course, and then you expanded further.
So basically, even though I had the energy, I kind of was like, if I'm dealing with patients, I need to know what I'm doing with them. So I actually just I'd done the Reiki just more to see how to deal with a client and like the processes of a Reiki session. But to be honest, I don't really do that much Reiki now. I mean, you've experienced my energy on Sunday. It's not very Reiki energy. I use like galactic energies, and I use like white flame and the purple flame. But I do mix it with the Reiki energy. But yeah, it was more to get the foundation of how to deal with a patient. And basically I've done the level 1, 2, and 3 to become a Reiki master. Because
your mum joins in as well, doesn't she? Sessions, which is amazing. That's absolutely amazing. So she's seen this journey with you. So what does she say then? You know, obviously from, you know, listen, 2022 wasn't that long ago, right? So that's a massive drop in the ocean of you being, you know, so within your business and, you know, confused and actually experiences like this generally happens when you're at crisis point, right? And it does, like it kind of awakens you for a reason, as you know. So, you know, what did your mum see in you, like in the change and everything?
So I was 42 when it happened to me, and obviously my family, they're not spiritual at all. Basically I grew up in a council estate, and my mum, my family are just like really normal people. So when I had my awakening, obviously I shared it with my mum. She was pretty open to it. I think it was more the first time I gave her a session over Zoom. And at the end, my mum was like, "Oh my God, I was levitating off the bed," because there's something about my energy that can lift you out of your body, like your
Well, I
astral
had
body.
that. Yeah, I had that on Sunday, and we'll go and talk about that in a bit. So, I mean, for your mum, that must have just been so nice that you can have that bond with your mum to be able to, you know, to do the sessions as well. So, you know, it helps her spiritually, and it's a close net spiritual bond between you.
Well, also as well, actually, it did bring us together, because after I had my awakening, it brings up a lot of stuff from the past that needs healing. So it kind of shone a light on some of the situations that had happened in my past. So obviously, me and my mum was working through some of the stuff that happened in the past, even though we've got a really good relationship. And that giving her energy and sharing energy, I think it really bonded us back together. So it's really bonded us together. And even discussing the experiences with the ETs when I was young, my mum, it kind of resonated with her. And it's funny because actually I've had a reading with clairvoyant recently, and they actually said that my mum was abducted first, and basically my higher self said my mum used to get really scared, so they stopped taking my mum and started to take me instead.
Okay, so in regards of a upright being with Harry that was in your room with you, so does your mum remember anything then at all?
No, she doesn't. But actually, I done on my YouTube. I done a story about are you a star seed? And I gave like the 10 things of being a star seed. And my mum rang me afterwards, and she was like, my mum's like 70, and she's like, I think I might be a star seed. So it was like really cute.
Oh, well, she is. She's a part of you, isn't she? And we're a part of all the same light and all the same source.
All cosmic energy.
I know, right? So after you've done the course, you've then, I mean, it's a massive transition in your life from one, you know, it's literally a busman's, you know, it's like you're doing something completely different. Did you feel like, you know, who did you contact, and, you know, where did you go? Did you look up on the internet of the, you know, the wise ones to speak to, or, you know, what did you do? Where did you go in your journeys? Because you went abroad. I know you went to some beautiful places in the world. So journeys.
So part of my journey, so it's really funny because before I had my awakening, I didn't drink, didn't smoke, didn't do any recreational drugs. And then I basically had my awakening, and then something was like, you need to go and do like plant medicine, which is like so not on my bingo card.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh my God, I need to go to Peru and do ayahuasca, and I need to go and do San Pedro in Portugal. So I actually went on a trip to Portugal, and we done San Pedro, which is a cactus, and also known as peyote.
Yes.
And it was run by a psychotherapist and a shaman from Peru. So I worked with them for a while in the process, but it was really funny because we done it 3 nights in a row. And on the 3rd night, which by this point, even though I'd had that memory of being abducted, that kind of was where I was at with that ET side. And when I done the cactus, I started to remember like being ET in previous lives, and basically one of my friends was my mum in 3 different lives. And as I went into that, we kind of done it in a yoga studio, and I kept getting visions of like people on a spaceship laying in pods. So it kind of really opened that galactic memory that I'd forgotten about. And also like I kept really having strong feelings about being a Pleiadian as well. So I know now that I've had many Pleiadian lives, and 2 of my guides are Pleiadian as well. But that was that opened me up for the whole. It's almost like my awakening taught me that everything we're taught in life is not true.
Yeah,
and everything,
well, we know that. Yeah.
well, even more so. And then everything that is meant to be like not true is actually true. So I everything's on the table for me now.
So let's go years before. If people ever brought up at any spiritual enlightenment stories or any of their experiences, would you poo-poo it?
I just don't even know that would have been on my radar. I was at parties and shopping and having holidays. It kind of like I would meditate for like 15-20 minutes a day, and basically like I read The Secret, and I was like, oh, I feel I'm so spiritual now. So I think that's kind of that's a place people like enter into that realm. But now I know that's kind of like the kind of entry point of like spirituality. So, and I was having acupuncture with a Chinese I always do
Okay.
say the mindset. So I kind of was on the
We're all
path.
okay. All right. So a very good book for you, which you had spoken on Jamie's, which was a massive awakening for me. Well, actually, it triggered a UFO experience there and then that day. Was Bringers of the Dawn, teaching from the Pleiadeans. You had read that as well, and that had totally changed you, didn't it?
Yeah, I mean, so basically, I didn't even know what a Pleiadian was, and then someone drew me to that book, so I started to read it, and then I read like 8 Pleiadian books, and basically I was obsessed with Pleiadian. And then I had a reading with Elizabeth April, she's a really big clairvoyant, remote viewer, and best-selling author in the States, who I'm actually friends with her now. But on my first session with her, she was like, do you know what Pleiadian is? And I was like, yeah, I've read 7 or 8 books. She was like, basically your parallel self is a Pleiadian called Andreas, who works for the Galactic Federation. And that kind of all made sense for me, because obviously I was obsessed with the Galactic Federation at that point as well, and also Pleiadians.
So she had confirmed it for you. I mean, I had seen it on somebody's shelf, and I had picked it up, and I said, I've seen this word before as well. And that there and then, within those hours, I had a UFO experience. So it's just like, if anyone wants to pick up Bringers of the Dawn, Teachers of the Pleiades, it's sort of like a gateway to the stars there and then for you.
We need Barbara to write some more books.
Yeah, she's done some amazing books.
Yeah,
and
definitely. I think she's done 3, which were amazing.
Yeah, and any of the Pleiades Intergalactic Federation of the Light books are absolutely amazing. Or even if you listen to them on YouTube, that other people are reading out, it's absolutely wonderful. So, because because we've discussed this, you know that we can be a part of absolutely all sorts of different types of beings. I mean, that's something I haven't really broken into publicly yet. I did 30 years ago. There are a few things that I'm sort of like not saying too much at the moment, but then there are other people like yourself that certainly are. And I honor you for that. I've just still got a few things that are just going around in the mess, but I know that I'm a part of all forms of beings because
I feel like you've got a bit of Pleiadian in you.
It's a long blonde hair. No, no, because I have seen Pleiadians. When I was a child, when I had a few of my abduction experiences where I used to live, they were there. And then when I got taken out of the car on the freeway in Los Angeles, they were there as well. And they were my family. I felt absolutely bonded to them. I resonated with them. They felt a part of me, a bit like you're saying, when you got up from that tree, it was like it was the best love ever, that nothing could ever touch that love. And I mean, I totally get that. And it's absolutely phenomenal.
And I think another thing is that basically a lot of people are scared of the ET subject. I remember when I was doing my YouTube, if it was about spirituality, people would watch it, and then the one where I spoke about my abduction, no one watched it. And I just think people are scared, but I really want people to know that these are our brother. I mean, there are good and they're bad, but most of them are much higher vibration, and they're like the our brothers and sisters of the universe, and they are really helping us. They're helping us at night. They're helping us in meditation. We don't even realize their energies are running through us, and they're helping us raise to the 5th dimension.
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, especially I would say last year there was a massive quickening in the feeling and the depth of it as well, whether it be subconsciously, like whether you sleep even further. I mean, and you obviously know my top secret that I'm going to let the world know soon.
It's amazing.
Right. Okay. So, as we know, that happened last year. So, it was a cosmic opening awareness for lots and lots of people. So, and I've only shared that with very few, but so from now, your client list, it can range. So how do you feel after you've done all of your energy work? Do you feel that you've got to go away and cleanse a lot more, because we've got all different people, the diversity of different people have got their own shit on their back that they're bringing to you, right?
So as you know, I do one-to-ones, but I also do groups. So I do a group on mid and last Sunday of the month, and I have like 20 to 30 people in the group. And before I even see you guys, and basically I clear everyone's energy, because obviously people have got like bad vibrations, entities, energy cords. So that's all cleared. That takes me like an hour before the even session starts. So obviously we can be in a container together, a healing container. So, and then obviously I need to cleanse my energy before and after. I cleanse the whole flat, and I do that with like Palo Santo and my energy and sound. So there's a whole process before I even see you guys for the session.
Yeah, so we'll say that. So I was honoured to join one of your sessions, very last minute, but
we was honoured to have you, Bridget.
Oh, thank you. Well, you know, it's just another part of the energy, but I have to say it was absolutely lush, and I mean, this morning I spoke to you on the phone, feeling the rewards and the benefits from it, but I was just cosmically in my own fluffy bubble still. And you said after this, I mean, from when I had the session with you, because there was, how many was there? How many were there of us?
I think there was about 20.
Okay. Right. And all walks of life, guys, I have to say, you know, we had from Hawaii, we had from America, various different states in America, England, obviously not just me, there was other English. So it was the diversity of it. It was, it was absolutely wonderful. So obviously I'm going to put the links to you and to your Facebook page, and everyone can then get hold of you to be able to work with you. And obviously, this was a group session, so it was really interesting how people viewed it, how they felt, and energetically wise, or whether they could sense something else. And not everyone had different perception. A lot of us came up with the same actual thing, which was lovely. Majority of it was the floating up, and I was floating up, but I was like in a bubble in a container. But I was viewing you, and I was viewing others that I would call them the elders around you. And that was like, as I was looking down, it was absolutely lovely. So I said to you for a couple of days after, still today, I mean, I've perked up this afternoon, mind, had a few fair few coffees now, but this morning I was like dragging my heels into town. It was just like, because it energetically, it takes a while, doesn't it?
Yeah, and also, so basically, I use galactic energies as well. So basically, I work with the Arcturians and I work with Pleiadeans, and when I call their energy through, I can see like different colors going out to you guys. And when I do like
with you,
so it's really hard. Like everyone's like, how does it work over Zoom? But everyone's like, they can feel me touching them. They can feel my energy. They feel like their astral bodies floating out their body. I mean, you felt energy up your spine, didn't you, during the session?
And that was weird because it was actually in my spine. It wasn't like if you're having like a hands-on healer and they're healing and you can sort of like sense where they are. It was actually within my spine. It was like right, a shock straight down. And obviously everyone knows if I don't do my podcast because my back's out, but you know, it was straight into the source of my back, and then obviously the kundalini. It was just energetically pow. It was like, it's nice.
And also, so when I do psychic people as well, they're like, they see me as a Pleiadian man giving them energy in like sometimes a Pleiades or on a spaceship. So even though, I mean, I'm still working through all this, but all I know is that basically I've been given this amazing gift, and it's my job now to awaken and heal people.
Absolutely. I mean, you know, I still, it takes me by surprise that it's only been a couple of years from you. I mean, you know, even to have a UFO experience can take some time for somebody to deal with, let's say for the first time. Here you are 2 years ago, boom, you're having this massive awakening on all levels, and you're thinking, you know, and you're having to deal with that, and actually then having to source people to be able to talk to. I know that you had money behind you, so I know that you could go off and go and do these retreats and work with the medicine people, so you were blessed. I mean, you had that path made for you to be able to do that, right?
Also, I feel like I know that I've had many lives, and basically I think things get stored in your energy field. So if you've done work in the previous life, you take that forward. You can't take money with you, but you can take your energy fields with you. So I think it's all like I'm not any more special than anyone else. Once we have that awakening, it just unlocks than you. So you start to remember what you've done in previous life. So I feel like obviously I've had other lives where I've done energy, and that's just unlocked to me. So I'm just like seeing what else. I'm just going with the flow. And also, like, I know we've not discussed some of the ET experiences I've had yet, but even after them, after an hour, I'm just kind of like, I just roll with it, because it's almost like ingrained in me that it's kind of not scary.
No, I mean, I think it's media, and it's been TV shows and everything, and, you know, all the bad press that has the poo-pooed the little green men and all of that, and the grey men.
Yeah.
But we know that, you know, from having these experiences, that they're absolutely solidly real, and they've been a part of you for a long time. And, you know, even my best friends, you can say that to, and they go, oh, okay, B. You know, it's like, hang on, you're going to have a massive wake-up call soon, my friend.
Yeah.
So, talk to us then about some of what you remember from some of your ET experiences. The one, if you'd like to share that with me. There was one that wasn't that great. Scary.
So obviously I had my awakening, and then I remembered kept getting that memory, and then basically I remember sitting in the park a lot and just looking up to the sky, and was like, I'm getting really homesick, I want to go home. But obviously I didn't really understand the context of why I just didn't feel at home on Earth. I mean, to be honest, all my life I've never really felt at home on Earth. And then in October 23, I woke up in the middle of the night in a panic. My partner was in bed, my cat was asleep in the front room, and I got out of bed, and obviously I really know energy, so I was like, there is someone in the flat. I got up, checked every room, there was no one here, checked the door, windows, everything was locked. I went back to bed, but I was just feeling a bit like anxious. I was like, something bizarre has happened. But obviously I went back to bed, didn't really think anything of it. And then basically the next morning I was going to the gym, so I got in the shower, and then as I got into the shower, I noticed that I had 5 circles going down my shoulder. So obviously the first thing I went to do was go to the bed. There was nothing in the bed, and also they were like bigger, smaller.
Race should be showing him. If Race is listening in, he should be showing. There you go. Right.
So this is like day 2. So there was just like a faint mark on my shoulder, and the day that it actually happened, I felt incredible. I felt like I could run a marathon. So this was day 2, so they started to show a bit more.
You're fit as a fiddle anyway, because you've been bloody going to the gym, so of course you could do that. But yeah, because I mean they're all in sequence as well. So I mean, and you know, it's a typical sort of mark of I mean, and they're not punctured either, are they?
No, it's almost like a print going down my shoulder. So it got to about day 3, and basically my friend was like, I think you should just speak to the doctors just in case. I saw the doctor, and the doctor was like, this is the weirdest thing I've ever seen. And in this picture, you can tell this is like day 4 or 5. It was almost like cigarette burns as the day went on. They went really like red and blistery.
Okay.
So
because go on, carry on. No, carry on.
No. It's just so the doctor was like, I have no idea what they are, but obviously if you don't feel good, come back. But if you're feeling amazing, I just honestly don't know what to tell you. So at that point, I was like, that's just a really strange encounter during the night.
And that was because you felt some presence in the house, right? So you woke up then to that in the shower.
Yeah, that's correct.
Yeah.
So,
okay.
Something had obviously happened to me during the night with that circles on, but also my partner, my cat, was like flat out asleep. And normally if I get up, my cat will follow me around whatever time of the night, but he was almost like knocked out.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Okay. I mean, I had Steve Aspen on some while ago, and he has marks, and he had marks on his leg. I had a triangle, 3 dots by my belly button that didn't blister, but they stayed there for some time. It was like a burn, but mine didn't blister, but obviously not the size of that. I mean, that's quite, that's like,
also it's a really weird, because I was like, maybe I've laid something.
Hang on, where's my hand on this side? I don't know where anyone can see my hand on this side, so if I drag it across, it's like a hand, isn't it? It's like, well, it's not a hand, because it's like a print.
Yeah, but I found out later what that is, but we'll get to that.
Well, hang on a minute. No, got right. Carry on then. Carry on your journey.
So that was October 23. Anyway, I just kind of, when these things happen to it, because obviously after my awakening, I started to see the craziest things. So I was like, just roll with it. So I never really think too much into it. And I just feel like everything happens for a reason. I've contracted before I come here for all these experiences. So I don't look at things as good or bad. I just see them as growth. And everything that's ever happened to me in my life, very painful things, they're the best things that's ever happened to me now.
Absolutely,
So
I can totally agree with that. I've had the most horrendous 10 years with someone, and actually it's taught me the biggest lessons in life spiritually.
yeah.
So yeah.
And it gives you the strength, and it strengthens your energy fields as well. So that was October 23. And then in November 23, I went off for an epic 17 days in Peru. We went to the rainforest. We done ayahuasca. Ayahuasca for me was pretty brutal. If you do want to do plant medicine, maybe start with psilocybin or the San Pedro first. But ayahuasca takes you to really, really dark places.
And of course, you're in Peru as well. So it's not like you're doing it, you know, like in a nearer country like Spain where it's legal as well. So you're literally out in the boonies with natives. So that's even more scarier in some way, with a language barrier and things as well, isn't it?
Yeah, and then also so we've done it 2 nights in a row, and then on the second night there was a monkey outside the hut that we were taking it in, and obviously you're having visions, and you're going through hell, and this monkey was outside going rah, like for half an hour. I know you're like, am I imagining this? Is it outside? So that obviously adds to the ambience
drama
of what's going on.
Yeah. And isn't that the one where you said that by your ankles, that you were dragged down by your ankles?
This was at the beginning of the trip. But so we went to rainforest, done ayahuasca, and then we went off and just toured Peru, went to Machu Picchu, and went to all these amazing places in Peru. And near the end of the trip, it was like 10:30 at night. So I said, I'm going to go back to my room. So I was sitting in my room. I was on Instagram. I was like this awake, B. I wasn't like half asleep. I was sitting at my board, the headboard on a king bed, typing on my phone. And the next thing I know, I wake up with my legs dangling off the bed. I'm paralyzed on the bed, and I feel like my body's being moved with hands over my body, but obviously I can't even open my eyes. Everything's totally paralyzed, and obviously I've got anxiety running through my body. And obviously the first thought I had was I'm being kidnapped in Peru. And then basically I could feel them moving like around my hip area, and I was like, oh my god, something really bad is going to happen to me. And the next thing I know, I basically passed out, and then I woke up again. And then basically when I woke up again, with telepathy said, don't worry, you know this is okay, just breathe. So I breathed, passed out again, woke up. So this was at 10:30 at night. And then basically I woke up again, and then I felt something being inserted into my head and into my root chakra. And it was really, really sensory. I felt a tingle through my whole body. It was the weirdest sensation I've ever had. I passed out again, woke up, and then managed to get off the bed. My door was locked. The windows were shut. There was no one in my room. And I was like so freaked out. I just had no idea of what went on. Obviously, I was in a panic. So I rang my partner. And obviously the time difference, they were at work, and they were like, what's going on? And I was like, I don't know, something's happened to me on the bed, and like, I'm so scared. But it was really weird because I was more scared when I thought it was human than actually when I thought it was ET. And so
no, totally agree with you there. Yeah, totally. Yeah.
And then what I didn't mention was halfway through when I was putting stuff into my head, my third eye is very open. I mean, I just get downloads, and obviously I had my eyes closed, and I could see 3 ETs moving my body. So I could see them, and I could see me being moved on the bed and being pulled along the bed. So I was just totally freaked out. And obviously my partner's not super spiritual. So he was like, I don't know what to say.
Yeah. Well, good. Yeah, because I mean, you're so far away from him for all of that. But so did you have any medical problems that they could have done any sort of healing surgery on you then?
No, but I feel like what's happened to me. Well, so basically, I'll just go forward to go back. So basically, I ended up leaving Peru a few days early because the whole situation kind of freaked me out. I wasn't super scared, and I was like open to what had happened, but I was kind of like a bit like, I just want to know what's happened. So I come back to London, and obviously, as I mentioned earlier, I know Elizabeth April, who can remote view. She's amazing. If anyone doesn't know who she is, you have to check her out. She works with the Galactic Federation. So she remote viewed the situation, and she saw, and basically I didn't tell her what happened. I just said, like, I'm really freaked out. I've had circles on my body before I went, and when I was there, I was paralyzed. So I just wanted to see what she would come up with. So she came out of her body, went to the room, and there was 3 grey aliens moving my body, and there was a mantis being, which was like the doctor, and they was giving me an energetic upgrade, and there was 2 Pleiadeans at the back of the room, but they were like projected there, so they were kind of not physical. They were like what they were overseeing it. So I don't know if they're from the Galactic Federation. And she asked them what they were doing. They said by me going to Peru, this is my contract to have my energy system upgraded. And she asked them about the circles, and they said that basically some of my acupuncture points needed updating before they could do the operation. So that was done in October, and this was done in November.
Okay. As you were saying that, I thought of something very good to say, and I've totally forgotten about it now. That's typically me. Typically me. So let's go back to your marks. Oh no, I know what it was. Right. So when you're in Peru, then, so you're having this. Did you think to speak to the people that were doing the medicine journey with you, the therapists at the time? Were you able to communicate with them and talk them? Because obviously there's got to be sort of like a sort of counselling session afterwards, because it affects everybody differently. You purge. You can see the worst of the worst, but you have to go through that worst of the worst to be able to sort of like rebirth. Did you talk to them openly about stuff?
I did. So basically we done the ayahuasca at the beginning of the trip. So that was day 2 and 3. So this was like, by this point we was on like day 10 or 11. And
that's a long time, huh?
Yeah.
Wow.
So it's not like, and also, so basically I went to speak to a psychotherapist, and I said, like, obviously this has happened to me. And she said, I know you really well, because obviously I'd worked for her for 2 years by this point. And also I'd done some psilocybin with her. And also she's part psychic, and she said when I done the psilocybin on another trip with her, she saw 2 grey aliens standing at my body, and she was like, what are you doing over his body? And they said, we're keeping him safe while he's journeying. So obviously there's some contracted. So she was like, I know you're not mad, you're B, this is the most sanest I've ever been in my whole entire life. And I know it sounds crazy, but this is like a Tuesday for me now. So but she was like, I don't know what's happened, but I know that it was really sensory. I could feel like pains in my body while I was doing it. It wasn't like just some kind of nightmare, or it was a real event.
Well, it's funny because when you were doing the healing session, like I said, I was out of my body. I was out of my body. I could look down and look down, but I was in a container. So I sort of let's call it like a incubator. I felt like I was in a dome, all right. And you were at the end, but there were, like, I would call the elders behind you. So I was observing you and I was observing them, which obviously at this point, I don't know who you're working with at that point, but there were like, I don't know, 3 or 4 of them. And then they were you. It's like that they were watching over you.
Yeah.
And that I found really interesting. And also the colors, like, like some of your other clients would then, I had the hues of the blue, of the greens, of the pinks, of the purples.
Well,
like I was like literally as if you were zooming through clouds, and it was just like, a bit like the backdrop that we've got here. There's sort of like the galactic backdrop. It was like, just like literally like you're running through different hued colors, but I'm aware of where you are. That was really interesting.
In session, so I have no idea how this happens, but I think in my mind says call Saint Germain. So I'm like, I invoke Saint Germain, and then and then the violet color comes through, and then all you guys are like, oh, I see the purple color. So if I am mad, all you guys are mad as well, because you're seeing what I'm seeing as well.
Hey, no. Equally, it's collective. It has to be 50-50. So where do you want? I mean, obviously, you're absolutely enjoying your new life in your rebirth, right? What do you feel that you want to further in all of this? Where, what do you want to be doing? What else do you want to be doing?
So obviously, I basically do the one-to-ones. I do the groups, but also I've got a range of t-shirts. So they're like Galactic Federation, and they've got light codes and like light language in, and then I infuse them with my energy. So I've got my own range of like organic, so it's all organic, it's non-toxic prints, and it's just so whenever anyone wears my t-shirt, they're like, oh my God, I feel so good in it. So obviously I'm doing the t-shirts, so that's like my passion project as well.
So you didn't want to leave the fashion industry out, you know, in the background. Then you thought, well, I'm going to infuse it, I'm going to incorporate it, because obviously we all wear clothes, right? So you thought, hang on a minute.
Well, do you know what's really funny? Actually, I was like, I never want to be in fashion again. And when I had my first reading with Elizabeth April, she was like, your guides are saying you're going to do some t-shirts with in organic cotton, and they're going to be spiritual. And then basically someone out, so when I went to Portugal and done that San Pedro, someone basically started to get downloads, like this normal, she's a friend of mine now, but she's like totally normal girl, and she's like, I'm being told, are you in fashion? I'm like, yeah. She was like, your guides are saying, why are you not doing these t-shirts? So I was like, why is everyone telling me about these t-shirts? And then I went to a friend's birthday, and she had a medium there, and they were like, your guides said, why are you not doing the t-shirts? So I ended up doing the t-shirts, just because everyone kept telling me to do it.
And so, but you didn't have that feeling of you wanted to do it. So obviously all these guys are connecting with other people to make it so obvious for you.
I mean, once I started, I loved it because I channeled all the designs. Everything's got like a spiritual meaning, and they're super cool and fun. I've had like pop stars wear them, and super cool spiritual people in LA. And when I launched, they had like a really good buzz. And actually, do you know Louise Redknapp?
Yes, of course I do.
She wore my Galactic
not personally, but we know all who she is.
Well, she wore my Galactic Federation t-shirt on Loose Women.
Did she? Oh, fair play to you.
So that's cool.
Right.
And she also wore another one on Lorraine. So
wow. So has she been to have healing with you then?
I can't.
Oh, you're not allowed to say. Okay, we're not allowed to say.
But you can read my reviews on my website. It might say.
Okay, because obviously this is a pre-record, and so it is going out. So we will put the extra links to. Well, I have put the extra links to your website on it anyway, so that will be absolutely interesting.
No, I have. Yeah, I have done some celebrities, and there may be a review from Louise there if you look on my website.
Okay, so as in then. Okay, what else do you want to do then? Again, so it can't just stop there.
So obviously I've got my YouTube, and I just want to spread like awareness. And I've obviously come into this year, and I've been really called to talk about my ET experiences.
Yeah.
And I've been having like really vivid dreams recently, almost like a seer. Yeah.
I wouldn't leave you in my dreams. I wouldn't leave you in your dream state or something. What was it?
Because so what happens after I do a group session? When I go to bed, I literally have everyone's souls attached to me when I'm sleeping, and whatever I do, they just come to me. And after a group, I normally have everyone, but after our group, I just had you. So you and me was like all through the night. All through the night we was attached, and I'd wake up and go back into the dream. So just going back to the dream, so just in like December, I was getting like really vivid dreams of like we're all outside, and there's like hundreds of UFOs everywhere, and then there's like the like American and British aeroplanes in the thing, and they're like saying, all go home, you're in quarantine for 15 days. And it's really funny because your titles are actually a bit like my vision, what I keep getting. So
my Naked Truth lead-in from Los Angeles with the military helicopter going for the UFO.
So that's exactly what I'm seeing. So I just want to spread awareness of like my experiences, my spiritual awakening, my ET experiences. Obviously, I have had other experiences as well. They've been more energetical, where obviously I've been paralyzed again. And it's, as we had a conversation after it's happened 3 or 4 times, I'm like, whatever, I'm going back to sleep now. So
well, it is like that though, isn't it? It's sort of so blasé, isn't it?
Yeah, so you really get used to it. And obviously I just want to like spread awareness of like, there's obviously a lot of people in this world are suffering, and just being in a positive place and just lifting ourselves up and just living a positive life. So I'm just want to, I feel like my mission in life is to awaken, heal, and just spread awareness about obviously the ETs. And we're having so much disclosure going on at the moment, and in the next 2 years I feel like we're going to have a big contact experience.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be bonkers anyway. It's already bonkers. It was bonkers last year, and it's just speeding up anyway. And obviously, I mean, I don't want to talk about Los Angeles right now, because that is absolutely so heartbreaking for all of us to see. And my heart goes out to absolutely everybody in Los Angeles right now, having lived there and having some absolutely amazing friends out there. I mean, all we can do is send our thoughts and our prayers, and those thoughts and prayers do go somewhere. It's just the idiots that just, whether they've started the fires because they're looking into lots of things. I mean, I think there's karmically people are just going to have a lot of problems, but us love and light people into the Intergalactic Federation of Light and speaking our truth. That's what it's about, is speaking our truth.
Well, I feel like all these bad things are coming to light, and everyone's like, oh my God, it's getting worse, but it's not actually getting worse. These things have been going on for hundreds of years, and the public they've been unconscious to all these situations. And actually, where everyone's coming more conscious now, we've got social media, we've got TikTok, we've got YouTube, it's starting to spread now, and people just like not believing the press release, what we get told. So I feel like it's all the darkness is coming to light, and the light is shining on it. So I feel like we are going through a period at the moment where the light is shining on all these situations, but it's taking us to a much better dimension. It's going to be a much better place.
I know what I will ask. So, because this has only happened to you in the last, it's like just over 2 years, okay? That's, I mean, I it's kind of can't get my head around it. That's a heck of a lot for someone to literally have to take in, right? I mean, and that means that gives faith to lots of other people that they can have an awakening at any time, right? I've kind of stumbled and bumbled my way through life and had awakenings in various shapes and forms, but for you to have like literally like I say, in your career, and then boom, like I say, there's always generally a factor behind an awakening, and it will always be a situation. It will be the most craziest situation, and boom, something will happen. It's like our inner self is like, okay, oh, I'm not allowed to say that, but like make something happen, just make something happen, and then it spiritually does, right? So that gives me a lot of hope for the people that aren't kind of awakened to this, that actually they are literally going to see it correctly.
Also as well, like, even though on the outside my life before my awakening looked amazing, obviously I've had a lot of pain in my life. I've been bullied when I was young. I was overweight, I was gay, my dad died when I was young. Then it led to lots of family circumstances of my family unit breaking down, and then so I've really just had body issues. I've literally done it all, B. So when I had my awakening, it just showed me that we all are like, have God in us. And but for some other people, they can have a spiritual awakening. It could be a really bad thing. They could be in a really good place in life, and it spins you in such
that's right. Yeah, that's right. You can have the reverse, can't it? Of course. But
it really lifted me out of a really like sad place I was in. But also made me remember who I believe that I'm being reincarnated, and I've come here for a reason. We've all reincarnated. This is the greatest show in the universe at the moment with what's going on in the planet.
It's like, I have to tell everyone, I don't know if anyone can see, Andrew has probably the bluest bloody eyes I've ever seen on this planet. And if you go to what's your Instagram called? Because obviously I'll put it on the link.
My handle is Healed by Andrew Lethbridge. That's on all my social media.
So it's all one word, Healed by Andrew Lethbridge. Okay, and that's on Instagram. Okay, because I will put the link to there. But you'll see Andrew then doing and you talk about your awakenings, and you talk, and actually then well, tell us what you're going to be talking about. But I'm just going to say, it's your eyes are the bluest eyes I've ever seen on this planet, literally.
No, do you know what? Sometimes I have people come for an in-person. Most of my clients are female. I do want some men. For some reason, men aren't quite there yet. I do have some men clients, but a lot of the women, like, when I'm talking to them, they're like, your eyes are so blue, and then they say it about 50 times. I'm like, oh my God,
it's like are they contact lenses from China?
No.
Like,
No, but,
I know they're not.
No, but can I tell you something? Over the years, so when I was young,
Yeah.
my eyes are really bright, and then over the years, where I was like just sad and down, my eyes went really like grey and dull. And then when I had my awakening, basically they just come alive again. And also, I've just been told so many times, my eyes heal. I've got healing in my hands and my eyes as well.
Okay. Well, yeah, I get that, but I like to say, go to Instagram and you'll just see them. That it's literally it's like a pop, and you're transfixed. It's like you're already hypnotized by Andrew's healing at that point. It's like crazy.
Well, thank you.
No. So, okay, so what do you do on Instagram? So you on Instagram, you do little shorts, don't you? And just
so I just do little shorts and just obviously about awareness and energy and chakras and auras and ETs. It's just little sound bites just to try and get people in the right direction, and just like uplifting memes or just consciousness as well.
Yeah, because actually, because we had like a 6-hour conversation the other day. I was like, right, but because I then told you about the beings that were next to me, and they went down my body and they stopped at my hips, and it was you that said, "Well, they stopped at your base chakra, babe," and I'm like, "What?" Of course, because I was like more confused why they had stopped there. Like, why have you? What are you doing healing there? Because people, not everybody, if you're into chakras and if you're into all the meditation, people know, right? But there was me. I'd never done any meditation before. I had done like 30 years ago, right? So I'm totally out of the loop of it. And yet these beings stop at and then you said, it's your base chakra. So what? Your base chakra is the last point, really, that works on what?
So that's at the bottom of your spine, and that goes down. That's kind of like grounds you into the earth. You've got minor chakras in your feet and your hands, but your 7 main chakras, your crown, third eye, throat, heart, solar plexus, sacral, and then your root. So obviously, as I was saying to you, when I could feel something being like put inside my head and into the base of my spine when the ETs like upgraded me. And what's really funny is I didn't tell you this, but after I got back and I started to do sessions with all my clients, like just normal people, like hairdressers, they were like, "Is it normal that I'm seeing my dead mum in the session, or ETs, or it feels like your energy is like taking like psilocybin?" Like literally everyone was having all these crazy experiences from my energy after obviously I'd had the upgrade.
Well, it's because they're in that altered place as well, and obviously you don't tell them anything, so it's like whatever wants to come filter into them is obviously for a reason. It's whether to heal, whether to remember, or whether to work through something, and not just in that session, but you walk away and then you can do more healing, can't you, on the things.
Well,
go on.
Well, also, like one of my clients, her mum died when she was young, and she'd never really got over it. And in the session, her mum come to her. It wasn't me telling her. She actually saw her mum. Her mum and come and hugged her on the bed, and she actually said it was like literally life changing, because it just helped her like remove some of the grief and know that basically the spirits are with us all the time. I always say we're on the Radio 1 frequency and they're on like Kiss FM or Radio 2, and obviously a clairvoyant can see different channels on the radio, where like some people can only see one channel.
I think for everybody, what's going on in the world, the only path is a spiritual path for everyone. It should be, because obviously it sorts out your own issues. It just makes you a humble, better person. I feel sorry for people that haven't wanted to walk down that path, really, because it's, I know that people are scared through experiences or whatever, but I just think it's one of the best things that you can do for yourself and for everybody else around you, is to walk on that spiritual path, right?
Well, a lot of people think in physical terms, and with spirit it's like totally different. It's almost like a totally different, it's kind of unbelievable to some people, even if they just don't believe this. So I feel like obviously it happened to me, it happened to you, it could happen to anyone.
Yeah, but I'm still mind blown that it only happened to you a couple of years ago. I'm so glad it did, because I wouldn't have met you, and you're absolutely gorgeous.
Well, it's the best thing what's ever happened to me, and I'm just like the happiest I've ever been. I just want to spread that happiness to other people and that awareness. And obviously, during your awakening, obviously, what I haven't discussed, obviously, I'd been with my partner for 22 years at that point, and that threw up a lot of problems for us. But we managed to work through that as well. So it's just, just keeping an open heart. Just try and be positive, and there's a lot of work to do.
So we're going to wrap this up. We've got a little bit left. I'm going to go for another session with you, which I'm so looking forward to. But is there anything that you would like to promote? Obviously, I will put it all in on the link. Just promote yourself for the next minute nearly. Go for it, Andrew.
I don't even want to promote myself. I just want people to just know
I want you to, because you're brilliant at what you do. You can totally
but I just want them to know that, like, literally any bad thoughts you have about yourself is like fake news. It's not true. We are all amazing. We are all loved. You're loved from the other side, and you are supported. And if you can dig deep down, you can be the best person you can be, and you can change your life and change others around you. That energy is contagious. When you're with someone with bad energy, you feel really bad afterwards. If you're with someone with good energy, so we all just was a bit more compassionate with each other and more humble. And just when someone's rude to you, instead of reacting, just thinking maybe something's going on with them, just like the world would be a better place.
Well, I can't say any more than that, because that's exactly what I agree with what you've said. So I thank you, my wonderful, wonderful cosmic friend.
Thank you for coming.
Me and you will speak in the next couple of days. But guys, I will put the link. Go to Andrew. Go and have some private sessions with Andrew. I highly recommend it.
Or join the group. The group is amazing.
Yeah, and I'll put all the links to it. But listen, This is part 1. We're going to do a part 2 at some given point, okay? Listen, guys, thank you for joining us on The Naked Truth. And also, just watch this space of what's going to be happening on the internet soon regarding myself. Da, da, da. See you later, guys. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.